Hi guys, and welcome to episode 13, unlucky for some I suppose, of the Spfl RTG on FC25. As you can see, we've got the team ready to go into what is quite possibly going to be one of, if not the hardest weekend of champs that we've had to go into, thanks to EA's tremendous decision to allow everybody to pick up a lone Kylian Mbappe. Well, of course, they could have picked other people as well before the weekend league, and you will see that we come up against Mbappe's Galore. And in fact, after the next video, when we've done the final 5 games, I'm going to give you a tally of how many goals in those 2 sets of 5 games Mbappe was involved in. As you can see, we've completed not only the Robbie Keane, but the Andy Robertson SBCs that dropped in the SBC section, and not only that, but we have finally completed our first bit of the checklist, getting the whole Hibs contingent, the whole St Mirren contingent, and of course the whole Rangers contingent on the SPFL RTG, which means that we have checked off the first of the goals that we set at the very beginning. So all of the clubs are checked off. Of course, we could get some special cards throughout the year, but that won't take too long to pick them up pretty much immediately. And we've got a little tick next to owning every player from each of the clubs, including the special cards, because that's done at the moment. Obviously, the finishing 14 or 6 or higher in champs isn't possible anymore with the new system. I've changed that to an 11 and 4 instead. But without further ado, let's get into the first game that we faced in the weekend league, and as you can see, he does indeed have that lone Mbappe. Some people I've seen online were like, it's okay, everybody's getting the same player, but when you're doing an RTG like this, it's an absolute mega disadvantage, which you will see from this first game. It is a quite terrible pass from us. He plays through a pass which I believe was looking for closer, that I tried to play offside, but the pace of Mbappe allows him to get in, and we're 1-0 down already. Lovely stuff. We do try and get straight back into the game. We look for, it was actually Shankland that we were looking for over the top. They tried to give it to Valle, but he picks it up with the poor pass, and straight away Mbappe, once again, he's just too fast, and he's never going to miss in 1v1s. It's 2-0. You're basically playing against a team of the season or team of the year quality card already, and they gave it to everybody for nothing. Lovely stuff. 3-0 down already. And I was like, this is just the first game. Oh no. We give it to Valle here. We're 18 minutes in. We're looking to try and get ourselves some semblance back into the game. But once again, the ball gets given away, and it's just one ball through to Mbappe. And we maybe could have done better with the goalkeeping there. But we find ourselves 4-0 down 20 minutes into the game. This is not looking good, especially since we're trying to get our first positive finish after 5 games of a 3 and a 2. At this point, it is not looking like that is going to be even remotely possible. We do manage to get a goal back though through Luis Palma. Feeling okay about ourselves here, going, yes, we've got ourselves a goal back. Unfortunately though, he wins the ball back high up with Mbappe. Gives the ball away cheaply there, however we then do the exact same. I don't know if it was just me being a little bit rattled from the goals, but Mbappe's involved, but he doesn't score this time. Cut back too closer. We're still in the first half, believe it or not, at this point, after the amount of goals scored. We do give the ball to Lawrence Shankland, who does find the space to be able to give it to Kyogo and fires it into the back of the net. 5-2, a little bit of pride restored. Valle heads it down, given out wide to Palma. It looks to play the 1-2 with Valle and does successfully. Ball played into the box, and it's a lovely header from Kyogo that hits the post, and we get the rebound. Is the comeback on? Well, any hopes of the cutback got shut down pretty much immediately here. Ball through Mbappe, defence parts like the Red Sea, and he just hits it first time into the back of the net. Lovely stuff. He then puts a rubber stamp on it, ball over the top. Mbappe, I'm trying my best to player switch to get to him, and it's just not happening at this stage. 7-3 down, and we're not even at half time yet. We do look to get forward and get some semblance of pride back. Tavernier gives it to Kyogo, who fires into the back of the net. 7-4 going into the break. Lovely game for the neutrals, I suppose, but not for us. He then goes through on goal in the second half with Closer, fires it, saved by Butland, but with that good old aerial plus that Closer does have. I tried to mark it with Butland, however, he does end up scoring with Closer to make it 8-4 to his team. Only the second goal of the game that he didn't score with Mbappe, and it's the first goal of the game that Mbappe wasn't directly involved in some capacity. However, that changes when he gets his 9th goal, which Mbappe fires into the back of the net. I tell you, they cannot do another loan event like this. It just completely destroyed this weekend for any sort of RTG that's doing it like mine. Don't know what EA were thinking at this point. 9-4 down though, he does give the ball through to Mbappe. Butland can't get there fast enough, and we're at double digits. First time that's happened on the RTG as well. Confidence on the floor at this point. Any goals that we're trying to get are consolation at this point. However, as you can see with this result, we do end up getting a consolation goal. Callum McGregor does well, fires it into the box, and Lawrence Shankland does score with the header. But I think this result is proof what I said a few videos ago of I'm not going to rage quit any games or anything like that. I want to show a true reflection of where the RTG is compared to other teams, and Shankland does get another consolation goal to make it 10-6. The ball was clearly offside for Kyogo there, and he's not finished yet in terms of his goals. Another ball over the top for Mbappe, and just weaker foot volley into the back of the net, and it finishes 11-6. Thank goodness that game is finished. But I did want to show a detailed account of the stats. I feel like without Mbappe, this game was more than winnable. So I think that Mbappe did make a massive impact on the weekend. We go into the next team, and once again we're coming up against an Mbappe that's I can tell you right now that of the 15 games, of course you're only going to see 10 on camera, 14 of them featured Mbappe, so it is absolutely farcical the way they decided to do it this weekend. I mean, who thought it was a good idea? We're 1-0 down to Mbappe once again. That's another goal to add to the tally of goals that he's been involved in for when we get to the end of the next video with the next 5 games. Mbappe driving down the line with the ball again, gives it to Mendy, and that is only, I believe, the second goal of the video that did not feature Mbappe in the assist or the goal that we have conceded. That is just ridiculous when it comes to that. We do get a good goal here with Kyogo. He leaves the defence in the dust to pull it back 2-1. And then we're here looking at the build-up from his team. Lamine Yamal on the ball, gives it to Florian Thauvin, who fires it through to Mbappe, who maybe, if we had pushed the defence up a little bit more, would have been marginally offside, but he goes 3-1 up before half-time. He did actually score again, but we lost the footage of that goal, unfortunately. Surprisingly enough, it was Mbappe. We do fire it across for Shankland. He looks to head it down to Czerny. We pick it up, fire it to Shankland, and make it 4-2. Another goal to get us back into the game. Arne Engels picks it up on the edge, gives it to Danny Armstrong. We maybe could have sent it through to Kyogo, but we tried to be a wee bit more clever with it, and unfortunately it came back to bite us. He fires it through to Florian Thauvin, who is in acres of space. He finishes it off, and we lose the second game 5-2. We're already 0-2. If we're going to go positive, we need to clutch the next 3 wins in a weekend where Mbappe is loans galore. Fantastic stuff. On to our next opponent though. He actually had no Mbappe, but he did have a lone Gareth Bale up top, which is going to feature right about now when he threads the ball through to Mr. Bale, who touches it, and we could have defended a lot better there, it has to be said, but he does fire it into the back of the net, and it took us until the 88th minute to be able to get an equaliser in this game, and the substitutes were involved in it heavily. Danny Armstrong gives it to Dyson Maeda in the end, who manages to touch it away and finish brilliantly with his weak foot into the back of the net, and we go 1-1. He was very hard to break down, and then with 2 minutes added time, we're on the edge of the box. Danny Armstrong gives it to Kyogo, and we get our first win of the weekend. Is it a coincidence that the guy didn't have Mbappe and he loses the match? I don't know, but we do get ourselves that 2-1, all-important 2-1 win in the end. at least get us on the board for the weekend. Once again, though, coming up against Mbappe, and he does have some nice players out with that. In fairness to him, he's got some nice Evos as well. It's just a shame that he decided to use that Mbappe. I think that takes away from those Evos a little bit. You need to stick to your guns, for me. Very scrappy. We do get the ball one high up, and we do put ourselves 1-0 up. In the game, I believe it's the first time we've actually taken the lead in this video. Hooray. Now, again, it's a little bit scrappy in terms of the goal. Diomande does give it to Shankland, who fires it into the back of the net, and that was actually enough for this guy. Maybe he'd had a bad few games leading up to this, but we do end up going 2-2, unbelievably. Heading into the final game, if we win it, we have clutched a 3-2 for the first time. But look at that team we've came up against. Not only has he got the lone Mbappe, but he's got the lone Rodman, he's got a Buffon in goals, a Hazard. What a team. However, we do start very positively. We take the lead through Vaclav Černý into the back of the net in the first few minutes, 1-0. We've put ourselves in a good position. However, it is very early in the game. Callum McGregor feeds it to Luis Palma, who turns his man, gets into the box, gives it to Shankland, who lays it off for Černý for his second goal of the game. We are now 2-0 up. Can it be done? Are we finally going to get that positive result? Proper wins the header from the corner. Buffon saves. It flicks up off Kyogo's toes, and now he's got a chance to counter. He threads it through for Rodman. We're never going to catch her, and she fires into the back of the net to make it 2-1. Oh no, is the hard work going to get undone? No, we go 3-1 up at this stage. We give it to Palma on the edge, who does a little fake drag back, gets himself into the box and gets it onto that stronger right foot, finesses into the back of the net just before half-time. And unbelievably, with the disparity between the teams and the fact that he's got that lone Mbappe and Rodman, we are 3-1 up. We do dispossess him high up with Shankland. We probably should have just cut that on the floor. That cross into the box was not the right option. However, we do get away with it when he passes it right to Callum McGregor's feet, and he puts it into the back of the net for 4-1. We are in extremely comfy territory here. I chose to take the free kick because this is right within Tavernier range. He moves Buffon across, so I decide to go for the far post instead, and Tavernier scores a lovely free kick to put us 5-1 up, and surely we have secured that very first positive ratio after 5 games at this point. Substitutions were made from both sides, as you can see. However, Brolin gives it to Mbappe. Rivaldo's on the ball. He finds Mbappe, and Mbappe does what Mbappe does from that range, unfortunately, to put it to 5-2. However, we do extend our lead once again. Kyogo gives it to Tavernier, who crosses into the box, and Shankland fires it in on his weaker foot to make it 6-2. We are in dreamland at this point, unbelievably, with how the weekend started. We are going to get that positive finish, it looks like. He does foul us with Theo Hernandez. However, we're not going to be shooting from this free kick. It's a little bit too far out for my taste. Tavernier takes it short to Daisen Maeda, who just decides to go on a stroll, and he tries to move the goalie for it, and Daisen Maeda says thank you very much and taps it into an open net. And the game does finish 7-2, which means we've finally done it. We have finished positive after our first 5 games for the first time on the SPFL RTG, on arguably the hardest weekend league of the year so far. Amazing when you think of it that way. However, there's still some improvements to be had. Of course, we've had some Evos release at the time of recording. You'll see a wee update during the week on how the team is looking once we've completed those Evos. There's only one different player in the starting 11, I can tell you. However, we did decide to take Carter Vickers off the bench, put Lawrence on the bench, so we've got a full Evo starting 11 and bench. At the time of recording as well, we're still a little bit away from the newest Team of the Week releasing. From the leaks I've seen, once again, the SPFL has been omitted from the Team of the Week, despite some Kasper Schmeichel putting in a terrific performance against Kilmarnock, for example, despite the fact that St Mirren had a player score a brace as well. I haven't seen any leaks from it. If I'm proven wrong come 6 PM, we'll see. We're also due to get a DeMarcus Beasley SPC. He, of course, played for Rangers, so we'll be completing that as soon as we possibly can. Thanks for tuning in to this latest episode of the SPFL RTG. We're going to get the next 5 games up in the next couple of days, and then we'll give you an update on how the team is looking. Thanks for all the new subscribers and viewers as well. If you could like and subscribe and hit the bell icon as well, that would be greatly appreciated, along with checking out any other videos on the channel. channel, whether it's the SPFL RTG, football match reactions, prediction videos, or Scottish Premiership Team of the Season so far. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll catch you after.